So, my people, my beautiful people, I am live again. And I just want to say all praises to the triune God, the God who is above all gods, the God who gives us wisdom to decipher things and to make sense of sensible things and to make nonsense of things that are nonsense. And as far as I am concerned, Islam is nothing but nonsense. So, my brother Phil, latest post is a messenger. I need to check out your website. As soon as I finish, I will check out your website, my brother. So today we are going to be looking into something. It's a discussion between. There's a dispute between this Muslim called Shadid Lewis and Danny Davis and a couple of our Christian sisters. And I know that Chris Claus and Danny Davis had gone over this, but I'm going to put together what Shadid accused Danny Davis and the sisters of, and then we're going to look into it and see if what he says make any sense. We're going to look and see if what he's saying have any bearing on the truth, and see how we measure truth. Because as Christians, we have a way of measuring truth, and the way we measure truth is way different from the way the Muslims measure truth. So we are going to go into this. God bless you, Adrian. God bless you. The man, Phil is here, and other people are here, and I'm happy to have you here, or else I will be talking to myself. So the first thing we are going to do is play a clip from the Muslim perspective. So let's get into this clip from the Muslim perspective, and God bless you all, and hit the like button so it could change the algorithm so we have more people coming in and listening. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to and if you notice, I changed the name of one of the channel. The reason is the ladies were having problem with the name of the channel. You know, so many ladies were like talking about the name of the channel because the name was Shake Your Booty. So I decided to give it a different name, which is Shake Up Islam Ibn Yahweh. And I think, you know, that might, you know, I don't like to offend the ladies, you know, because Shake Your Booty can be offensive to women. And it seems like it was affecting a lot of women because they keep complaining about it. So I had to change the name. So let's share the video from the Muslim channel and see what he's talking about. So if you look at the title of his video, it says Danny Davis and Diane2022 caught lying too many times. And if you look into the video of that was made by Chris Claus and God Logic and Danny Davis, there is nowhere they lie. And this is how dangerous this clown is. You know, he said Danny Davis and Diane2022 caught lying too many times. Pedophilia and child marriage. Refuted by Shadid Lewis. And he refuted nothing. Literally, if you listen to this, you will see that he refuted nothing. But this is my analogy from it, and I want you guys to make your own analogy as we go through what he says. In the first part of the video, all he does is rant. Like literally everything is just ranting. You could see that this guy he doesn't have a peaceful mind and a peaceful heart, you know, because all he do is ranting. if you're going to refute someone and you know you're going to refute them, the thing you do, I think he tried to taint their character before he even refute. Like when we say something about Muhammad, we can show why we say these things about Muhammad, you know, and then we make our talk about Muhammad is based on Muhammad's character, and or even me calling him a fool is based on his character. Look at this. Danny Davis and caught lying too many times, exclamation, and he haven't proven anything yet, you know. But look at this.
All right. Bismillah Rahman Rahim. In the name of Allah, most beneficent, most merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is his last messenger.
That's the biggest mistake he made already. Muhammad is his last messenger. Is that true? That's a lie. Isn't it Isa coming back? If Muhammad was the last messenger, how is Isa coming back? Make no sense.
Peace be upon him. Today's video deals with some liars who are claiming that I lied, but we're about to shut that down. We're about to destroy. Like I said, I like to end careers. I'm about to end careers. I'm about to expose the liars.
He like to end career. What a clown, man. You need to go drink some camel urine. It'll be better for you. Mix some milk and camel urine. It seems like you have a brain disease. It might cure your brain disease.
All right. Before we really get going full blast, let me would y'all share the room, please? Invite those who are on Clubhouse, because we're simulcasting here on Clubhouse and on YouTube. All right, on Clubhouse and on YouTube. So share the room. Let me do another quick share on Twitter real quick, so that the way the people.
So he's gonna spend a lot of time just ranting.
You know that we're going live. We're broadcasting. So it's my turn to hit back. All right. So this started, for those who don't know, Alaikum Salam on YouTube, Al Neo. This started because, as you know, the haters like to keep lying and misrepresenting the teachings of Islam, claiming.
Do you notice what he says? They like to lie and misrepresent the teachings of Islam, and this is what's so dangerous about a clown like this. He believed there is one teaching of Islam. You know, there's not one teaching of Islam. There are many teachings of Islam. Even I told people before that Muhammad have two mouths. The God of Islam have two mouths. Muhammad have two mouths. You know, one mouth say this, another mouth say that. So when he says misrepresent the teaching of Islam, what teaching is he talking about? Does Islam have only one teaching? No. Many issues in Islam have many different beliefs. So for him to say misrepresent the teaching of Islam, it doesn't even make no sense there. So you could see that this guy is a clown off the bat. Like coming off the bat, you could see that's a foul ball. You know, it's a foul ball coming off the bat. You could tell it's not gonna be infield or it's not gonna be a home run. You could tell that it's a foul ball coming off the bat. And if you say coming off the leg, you can see that's a missed kick. It's not gonna hit the target of the goal, or it's not a good pass that's gonna get to the player a downfield. You could tell that if it's basketball, he missed the layup, and if it's football, he fumbles. You know, Islam doesn't have one teaching. The belief of Islam is not monolithic. So for him to make this claim is actually, you can see he's off track already.
Mean that Islam permits, promotes, allows pedophilia and child marriage. And of course, this is false. We're going to destroy this claim today.
Can you imagine? This guy said he's going to destroy the claim that Islam promotes child marriage. Wow. Can you imagine this guy living in the 21st century is telling us that he's gonna he's gonna debunk the claim that Islam promote pedophilia and child marriage. Wow, he must be the next prophet of Islam. He must be abrogating something, or this senseless guy, man.
She said I lied because I gave some verses that backed up my point. Walaikum salam, Dawah Connected on YouTube. So she said I lied, right? He said I lied. I gave verses that prove my point, and I'm about to give those verses again, and I'm going to show the tough seers, and I'm going to show that I didn't make it up. I'm going to refute these people, these damn liars, Danny Davis,
wow,
damn bigot, and Diane2022, who keeps running her goddamn mouth, being the promoter or the instigator. But no problem. Since I still got you, baby. I got you included here. All right. Oh, okay. SubhanAllah, Mr. Banks, Brother Banks. Okay, he's here on YouTube. All right. So let's see. Yeah, exactly, John Smith. She's not really that important, obviously, but she's the one that keeps running her mouth. So I figured I'd put her name in here. All right. They claim they can barely hear me. How about now? Can you hear me now? They keep saying they wait. Can somebody come up, Brother Hamdullah? Come up. Let me make you a mod. And then if you can do it. Okay, cool. I'm going to go out and then come back. And then inshallah, let's see if the sound is, if my sound is better. All right, let me make you a mod. So that way when I leave, the room will stay open. Okay, I'm going to leave and then I'm going to come back in and let's see if that improves the sound, inshallah. All right, here we go.
So he's wasting time here.
Diane for a while, like on Clubhouse. Right, I haven't spoken to her in a long time, to be fair, but I forgot she was even on Clubhouse.
All right, it's crazy. Let me do a quick sound check. All right, how's that? How does that sound now? Is that better?
It sounds good to me. I mean, even it sounded fine even before to me. I don't know.
Really? Okay, so maybe guys who you may have to turn your sound up then if it sounds low. On YouTube, how we sound, brothers and sisters on YouTube, or down on YouTube?
On the tube.
Yeah, make sure the people on YouTube hear me good. How is it sound good on YouTube? Give me a mic check. YouTube, somebody.
Testing.
So this guy is actually wasting a lot of time.
All right, but let's get started. All right, for those in the audience, please hold off on hand raising until we're done. I just want to deal with the subject, and then we'll get into it. Then we can open it up, inshallah, for discussion if need be. All right. Again, YouTube, can y'all hear me? Let me see. Let me type it. Can y'all hear me?
And check your back. Check your back channel.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. What do I need? What's in my back channel? All right. What happened? Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Good. Right.
A whole bunch of waste time, man.
Can you hear me, YouTube? Oh, it's already typed. Yes. Yeah. Okay. They said they hear me. Good. Okay. Very good. Mashallah. Okay. So let's get this thing started. So again, as I said, they made a video with me, claiming that I lied about something or whatever in regards to pedophilia, child marriage, right? So we're going to refute that. Okay. So as I said, Diane2022 and the bigot Danny Davis, right? I stand on my position. I said Surah 4, verse 6 clearly demonstrates that marriage is to take place at a certain prescribed time, right? And that time coincides with both mental and physical maturity, right? That is, as many of you know, it is from Surah 4, verse 6. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the verses. For those who you are on Clubhouse, I'll read it out. But here's what it says, right? It says, and test the orphans until they reach a marriageable age. Then, if you find in them to be mature of mind, hand over to them their possessions. Okay? So as we can see, this lets us know that there is a certain time period for marriage. According to the haters, there is none. According to them, according to the haters, they say in Islam, there is no marriageable age. You can marry children. You can marry, and have relations with, children that are before puberty, pre-pubescent, right? Yet, if that's the case, haters, why does the verse say, test them until they reach a marriageable age? Right? In other words, if there was no marriageable age or period that people are to wait to get married to, then why does the verse mention that? Right? According to y'all, no such thing exists, idiots. Right? According to these haters, Diane2022 and Danny Davis, no such criteria for marriage in Islam exists. Therefore, again, according to them, you can marry children.
So when you look at this, it says, test them until they reach a marriageable age. Then you could hand over according to him, when he is reading that, what he says is, I don't know which one he read from. He said he read from, but he have three different translation on the screen. And he says, mentor and train. If you notice what Safi Kaska say, mentor and train orphan until they reach a marriageable age. Then if you find they are mature, hand over their possession to them. But marriageable age, and this is how crazy this is. Marriageable age, and this guy don't think about this stuff. A marriageable age can, because Muhammad married to Aisha when she was 6 years old, so marriageable age can stretch all the way till you're 30, 40, 50 years old. So I don't know what this guy is building his stupidity on. Because if you're talking about, if he say mentor and train orphans until they reach marriageable age, and he says if you find them mature, hand over their possession to them. How is this guy saying, how is this saying that you cannot marry to a child? It doesn't say that. Because if marriageable age started at 6, as Muhammad married to Aisha when she was 6 years old, if the girl is not married at 6, she's still under the mentor of that person and continue to mentor her until she is married. So marriageable age, but if you notice what it says, and if you find they are mature, so a person could be in marriageable age and still not mature. Do you see what he says there? Let me actually show you the verse on the bigger screen so that you guys could see what we are talking about, what he's reading from. And he making it look like he got something when he doesn't have anything at all. So it is 65 verse 4, and it's Islam Awakened, ISLAM AWAKENED. I think that's Islam Awakening he's looking at. So I want to show you guys what this guy believes, that he has something so powerful that he could use against Danny David and the sisters, but I will show you that he have nothing at all. Nothing at all. He's actually showing that he have a reading disorder. Because what does he say? He is showing that he have a reading disorder. So I think he read from this one, Safi Kaskas. I think that's a which one is this? Verse 65 verse 4. I thought it was 65 verse 4. No, it's not 65 verse 4. Let me go back and see what he was on. Let me see what he was on, then I would. So mentor the orphan. I had that. I don't know why I put 6. Just a minute. Let me show you guys that, you know, it's, sorry. That's my problem. 4 verse 6. That's it. It's first 4 verse 6. So let me share that with you guys, and you will see that it is not as easy as this guy is trying to make it. All right. So what we're going to do here, we're going to share that with you guys. It's not as easy as he's trying to get away with it. If you have any reading ability, you see that it's not as easy. If you notice, this is the one he's reading from. Mentor and train orphan until they reach marriageable age. Then if you find that they are mature. So if you find that they are mature, so you mentor and train them until they reach the marriageable age. And if they are mature, then you can release their position to them, hand over their possession to them. That is not saying that you cannot marry to a 6-year-old. It doesn't say that. What he's doing is he's taking things out of context. The problem he have, he stop here until they reach a marriageable age. He don't worry about what he says. Sorry. He doesn't worry about what he says afterwards, but you have to worry about what he says after. You have to worry about what he said after, because then if you find they are mature, so you could mentor a person until they reach the marriageable age. But the problem you have here, the marriageable age could start at 6. So the mentoring is not over yet. Because what? If they are immature, they still need further mentoring. Because what we're saying is this: women, girls were being married at different age. They were marrying these girls at different age. When I read this, it doesn't tell me that, oh, you cannot marry to a 6-year-old. It doesn't. It does not at all. Because if they are immature, then you continue to mentor them. Because he says, hand over their position to them if they are mature. If they are mature. That's what he says. If they are mature. But even if it even if to him it is saying something different, if he gathers something different from this, that is, oh, a marriageable age is a mature age, we are going to show that the Quran has 2 mouths. If that's what he want to say that it means, the Quran has 2 mouths. One of the mouth of the Quran is saying that you could marry to a children, and according to him, another mouth of the Quran is saying that you could marry to mature girls, that you could marry to mature girls. But if you notice this, if you find they are mature, so if the marriageable age, you mentor them until marriageable age starts at 6, according to Muhammad married to Aisha, and you test them for maturity. A 6-year-old is not mature. So you're going to continue to test maturity until they are mature, because he says, if you find they are mature, hand over their position to them. That's what he says. So I don't know what he's reading into it. But anyway, so let's continue with him and see where he's going to go with this. Let's see where he's going to go with this, because he said he destroy career. I don't destroy career, because even when you show them, they still continue. What we do, we reveal Abduls. That's what we do.
If that's the case, then again, why does this verse give a criteria to judge and test orphans as when they reach a marriageable age. Right?
But what he's failing to see, as I was saying to you guys, the testing is not over. The testing doesn't continue like, oh, today you get to marriageable age and the testing is over. He doesn't say it's over, because he said if you find that they are, that's what he says. If you find that, and then if you find that they are mature and their possession over to them. So there are marriageable age is saying that some of the girls that are at marriageable age are not mature. Are not mature. Literally, that's what that verse is saying. That you have girls at marriageable age that are not mature. That are not mature. And if you look at the story of Aisha, one of the time when Aisha was suspected, there was a time, even Aisha took long to be mature. Very, very long to be mature. To the point where Aisha was suspected of cheating on Muhammad. And when Muhammad was asking question about Aisha, because Muhammad actually seems like he believed that Aisha cheated on him, because he wouldn't talk to her, she was sick, he wouldn't even attend to her sickness. So he called together his people, and he started questioning two men about what they think about Aisha, because he was thinking about divorcing Aisha. And one of the men says she's a very immature girl who leave the door. Let me see if I could find that for you guys. I said DOUGH of her family. I think it says. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. So you see that so they see this guy actually look at Aisha as immature, very immature. I will show you guys this. So when Aisha was suspected as cheating on Muhammad, because she disappeared and was found with a man. This is what, when Muhammad was questioning Aisha, the people about Aisha. So Muhammad asks a man about Aisha, and this is what the man said about Aisha. Let me show you what the man said about Aisha. The man said to Muhammad, "Keep your wife, as I know nothing about her except good." And another one says, Baraya said, "I cannot accuse her of any defect except that she is still a young girl who sleeps neglecting her family dough, which the domestic goat come to eat," i.e., was too simple-minded to deceive her husband. So this is critical. They were looking at Aisha as a little simple-minded girl. Like literally, she is still a young girl. She is still a young girl. And what age was that? How long have they been married at that time? So you see, they've been married for maybe years at this time. And this man was still looking at Muhammad as Aisha as still a young girl who sleeps, neglecting her family dough, which the domestic goat come and eat. and she's too simple-minded to deceive her husband. What is that saying? Like a kid, she cannot come up with that deception that according to that that man. So they were looking at her as an immature girl. Like this is the story here. This is actually the story where she cheated. She was suspect of cheating. This is the story where she was suspect of cheating. This is actually a story where she disappeared. And look at it. See right here? Look at this. Look at what the man say about her. So the Muslim guy, Shadid, he doesn't think about what he says. But look at it. Look at what he says. You see what he says right here? I have never seen in her anything faulty except that she is a girl of immature age. So even years after Muhammad married to Aisha, she was seen as a immature, a girl of immature age. And do you notice what the Quran verse says? Do you notice what the Quran verse says? This is what the Quran verse says. So let's get back to the Quran verse just to show you guys that Shadid have a reading disability like his prophet. Notice what he says there, immature age. Do you see the word that says, and if you find they are immature age, if you find that they are mature and over their possession. So Aisha would still be in school. Aisha would still be of a mentor. She would not, her possession would not be handed over to her. Even when Muhammad married to her, her possession would not be handed over to her because she was immature. She was an immature girl. So when I read this, this is what he's saying to me. Mentor and train the orphan until they reach marriageable age. According to what we see Muhammad do, Muhammad married to Aisha when she was 6 years old. We'll share that with you in a minute. So what this is saying here, that you could marry to marriageable age starts maybe round about 6. So marriageable age start maybe round about 6. And he says, then if you find they are mature, do you see what he says? You mentored them, but if you find they are mature and over their possession, this is what he's talking about. Context. If you find they are mature and over their possession, but if they are not mature, and why do you, if they are not mature, what would happen? You would keep their possession. You keep their possession. And we say until they reach the age of marriage doesn't mean that at the age of marriage you will stop mentoring them. I don't see this from this verse that at the age of marriage, because it says until they reach the age of marriage, that means at the age of marriage you will stop the mentorship. I don't believe that. In Saudi Arabia, even today, women, all grown women have mentorship. So I don't believe that this is what he's talking about. And when those people, scholars, read those things at Saudi Arabia, they don't believe that mentorship stop at a certain age, I think it means for me, and when I analyze it, you know, and I will look at the tafsir in a minute and see what the tafsir says about it. When I analyze it, I believe that it means until the person is married, because when a person is married, the husband become the mentor. Like Aisha's mentor, who was Aisha's mentor? Aisha's mentor was Abu Bakr and her mama until 6 years old. Until the day she came to Muhammad's house. That's when the day when she came to Muhammad's house, that's when the mentorships stopped. So when she was married, the mentorship of her father and her mother stopped when she moved to Muhammad's house. So this is how, until they reach the marriageable age, that literally is telling you, to me, until they are married. Because if they are immature, if they are mature, hand over their possession. If they are not immature, you still continue to mentor them. Literally, that's what I understand from this. Because if they are immature, what you're going to do? Just leave them on their own and they are immature? No. But Muhammad married to Aisha while she was immature. And even years later, as you see, when she was accused of cheating, she was still immature, according to what the Hadith says. The Hadith actually say, except that she is a girl of immature age. And we are talking about Sahih al-Bukhari 2661. So let's listen to this, continue to listen to this guy and see where we're gonna go with this. But that's what I gather from this. I don't gather like, oh, when they get to a certain age, the mentorship stops. So let me check out some comment and see how you guys are, if you guys are thinking in the line of where I'm thinking. You know, let me check some of the comment and see what's going on there. You know, because I like to share the comment. Okay, let's see. So we start from here. I'm seeing any. Phil said, Aisha mature. I have never seen in her any faulty, except that she is a girl of immature age who sometimes sleep and leaves the door of the goat to eat. So you see, yeah. Phil, man, you're fast, bro. Yeah, so do you see? Do you see what I was saying? That she was even immature, and Muhammad still marry her. So, and we know that they cannot dispute or refute that she was married at the age of 6. And he had sex with her when she was 9 years old. So let's continue with this guy and see where this guy is going to take this, what ride he's taking us on.
Of the translations, until they reach a marriageable age. Until they reach marriageable age. Right? So I don't know if they're going to. So again, and the point here is that regardless of whether it's talking about orphans or not, it still lets us know that there is a marriageable point, right? There is a marriageable point.
And this is how crazy he is. Of course, there's a marriageable point, but where does the point start? According to Surah 33. Verse 21 says Muhammad is the perfect example to follow. So the marriageable age starts at 6 years old. But what he's forgetting to tell us is that this, according to the verse, mentorship does not end at the marriageable age, because he says if you find that they are mature, then you give them their thing. But if they are not mature, they still need to be mentored. They still need to be mentored if they are not mature. And this is talking about orphan. This is actually talking about orphan, until, you know, monitoring orphan. But the marriageable age is not where the mentorship stops. The marriageable age is not where the mentorship stops. Is the immature. If they are immature, the mentorship continue. And so if you start at 6 and they are immature, mentorship continue until they get to the point where they are mature enough to take their possession. That's what I see from this verse. But we'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
It's not, in other words, this verse is not just saying that this is only restricted to orphans. No, it's showing that the judgment of orphans is to be used as they reach this particular time period of what is known as the marriageable age. This doesn't mean that only orphans are supposed to be tested, right?
And when you test them, and don't you notice what it's a test? It's a context. And when you test them and they are immature, what happened? What happened? What happened? You keep their possession, because you give it their possession to them when they are mature. You keep their possession. So it's not telling you that the mentorship stops. It's not telling you. It's not telling you that the mentorship stops at marriageable age. No, that's when I read it. That's what it's telling me. It's actually telling you the mentorship stop when they are mature. So Aisha, if Aisha was an orphan, Aisha would still be under mentorship when she was married to Muhammad, because according to the Hadith, she was immature. She was immature. So let just to show you the people what how Muhammad married to Aisha, just to show that, since if there is anyone who doesn't know, I don't know who doesn't know this, but we're going to just show, since we don't know who doesn't know. So what we have here, hadiths upon hadith. This is Sahih al-Bukhari 5133. Narrated Aisha that the Prophet married her when she was 6 years old, and he consummated his marriage when she was 9 years old, meaning that he had sex with her for the first time when she was 9 years old, and then she remained with him for 9 years, i.e. till his death. So she was 18 years old when he died. Sahih al-Bukhari 5134 narrated Aisha that the Prophet married to her when she was 6 years old, and he consummated his marriage when she was 9 years old. Hashim said, I have been informed that Aisha remained with the Prophet 9 years until his death. So he had sex with her when she was 9 years old. So at the end of the day, when he's saying that is Islam promote pedophilia, yes, it does. Because according to Surah 33, verse 21, Muhammad is the perfect example, the excellent example to follow. So yes, it promotes pedophilia. So I don't know all this ranting that he was making. I don't know all that for. You know, it promotes pedophilia. This is Islam. This is not Christianity. This is Islam. Sunan Ibn Majah, 1877. It was narrated that Abdullah said the Prophet married Aisha when she was 7 years old. So we still have young age. Aisha said she was 6. They said he was 7. Abdullah said she was 7, and consummated the marriage when she was 9. So at least they are corresponding when it comes to what age he had sex with her. And he passed away when she was 18. Do you see that? The only thing that is off a little bit is the 7 years. And guess what? If one person says 7 and one person says 6, we could let it fall into the middle and say, oh, she was 6.5 years old. Let's give both of them because she was young. Abdullah is narrating this, and Aisha. This came from Abdullah, and others came from Aisha. So you see what I'm saying? Muhammad had sex with a child. Narrated Aisha. Aisha reported that Allah messenger married to her when she was 6 years old, and he took her to his house when she was 9, and when the Holy Prophet died, she was 18 years old. Do you see that? Over and over and over again, different sources. This one was Sahih Muslim. So this is from Sahih Muslim 1422D, and we go down to Sahih Muslim 1422C. Aisha reported that Allah apostle married her when she was 7 years old, and he was taken to his house as bride when she was 9. Do you see that? So one source is saying 7, another is saying 6, but the 9 is always there, and the age he was when the age she was when he died is the same, 18 years old. So that's what we have from that so far. So do you see that these are things that they cannot deny? They only can come up and say, oh, and try to twist things to make things look like there were something else going on. And there is many more narration. There's a narration that says, where Aisha says, she was taken. The Prophet engaged me. I was a girl of 6 years. We went to Medina to stay at his home. Then I got ill and my hair fell down. So it was so much stress. It was so much stress for her that her ear started falling off. So let me show you guys this. I think this was a mature child. No, this was not a mature person. It was a baby. The baby was so sick that her hair fall off. Muhammad didn't care. Muhammad have sex with her. He didn't care about that. So he said, you see where she said, I got ill and my hair fell down. Later my hair grew again, and my mother, Roman, came to me while I was playing in a swing with my girlfriends. So you see, she was on a swing playing with her girlfriend. She called me and I went to her, not knowing what she wanted to do to me. She caught me by the hand and made me stand at the door of the house. I was breathless then with my breathing become all right, she took some water and rubbed my face and head with it. Then she took me in the house. There in the house, I saw some Ansari women who said, best wishes and Allah's blessing and good luck. Wow. To the poor little child. Then she entrusts me to them, and they prepare me for the marriage. Unexpectedly, and I want you to notice what Aisha is saying at this time. I want you to know what Aisha is saying, and we share some things with you where Aisha actually says that she cannot recall a time when her parents were not Muslims. If Aisha was as old as this clown is going to sell Aisha to be, but Aisha said she cannot recall a time when her parents were not Muslims. What is that telling you? What is that telling you? That if Aisha cannot recall a time when her parents were not Muslims, that means that Aisha was very, very young when she was married. Very young. Because she cannot recall a time when her parents was not Muslim. According to this guy, he wants to tell you that Aisha was married. Aisha, you will see where he's trying to tell you like, oh, marriageable age is like 15. If Aisha was 15-year-old when she was married, what's wrong with her that she cannot recall a time when her parents were not Muslim? What's wrong with her? Wow. I could recall all the way back to where I was like 4 years old. I can recall that. All the way back to where I was like 4 years old, because when I weighed up and remember these things and say to people, like, you remember this? They were like, oh, you remember that? Like, you remember that? Because they were older than me and they expect that I shouldn't remember those things, but I remember. But Aisha could not remember a time when her parents were not Muslims. I will show you that. So that is showing you that she was very, very young when she was married. Because if she cannot remember when her parents were not Muslim, that means she got to be very young when she was married. So you see, look what she says here. Allah apostle came to me in the afternoon, and my mother handed me over to him, and at that time I was a girl of 9-year-old. Because Muhammad married to her, but the mentorship continued. Do you see the important? I want you guys to see that. Muhammad married to her when she was 6-year-old, because that was the age of marriage. And the mentorship continues until they think that she was ready to go to Muhammad's home. The parents believed that she was mature, but the society did not see her as mature enough. Even though her parents gave her to Muhammad at 9-year-old, and Muhammad had sex with her when she was 9, guess what? The society did not see her as mature. Because did you remember what the man says? She's a girl of immature age, and she would go to sleep and cause the goats to eat the family dough. That means she would start to make the dough, because I was cooking. I was cooking when I was 9 years old. So I don't see a problem with Aisha cooking when she was 9-10 years old. Because I was cooking when I was 9 years old. There's a lot of Jamaicans, the kids are cooking when they are 9 years old. There's a lot of Americans that have their kids cooking at 9 years old, making breakfast. There's a lot of third world countries where kids can make a 3-course meal at 9 years old. And they know what they're doing. I used to watch this one channel where these two little boys would cook all kind of stuff. So one day I saw them cook rats. They were cooking rats one day. They cook they cook a snake one day. They cook a rat. They were cooking. They beat up their garlic and herbs. Be like, man, these kids know what they're doing. But anyway, let's get back to the video, man, because we want to show that this guy have no idea what he is talking about. So you see that Muhammad married to Aisha when she was 6 years old, but the mentorship continued. The mentorship continued with the parents until she was 9. So we go back to what this guy was saying, and you will see that the verse is actually saying what Muhammad did. You have to have historical background behind things. You can't just be just taking things out of context. So according to the verse, it said, mentor and train orphans until they reach the marriageable age. Then, if you find they are mature, hand over their possession to them. That's what he's saying. So if they are at the marriageable age, if they are mature, you hand over their possession to them. So if the marriageable age starts at 6 and they're not mature, you're going to continue to mentor them, just like Aisha's parents continue to mentor her. But Aisha's parents hand over her to Muhammad. So if she had any possession to get, say she was an orphan, guess who would have gotten her money or her inheritance? Muhammad would have gotten it, because he is now her mentor. And this is what I'm getting from this verse. I'm not getting like, oh, you can't marry to a 6-year-old if Muhammad is the perfect example. Yes, you can marry to a 6-year-old.
Until they reach the marriageable age. In other words, it's not saying that only orphans have a marriageable age, right? It's showing that there is a standard for marriage for everyone. In this particular verse, it's referring to orphans, but it lets us know that the orphans are supposed to be tested when they reach this marriageable point. So I don't know.
Right. So you're gonna test them. What this guy forget. This is a backward society. That's he thinking that, oh, we're living in the same society we're living in now. It is a backward society. It is a backward society to the point where the Quran is saying that Aisha is the mother of the believers. Can you imagine that? Aisha was a baby, but yet still the Quran is saying that Aisha is the mother of the believers. So a little girl is the mother of the believers. A little girl who needs somebody to teach her to do stuff is the mother of the believers. The little girl who used to leave the dough for the goats to eat and leave have a goat in her house to the point where the goat eat the Quran. She was the mother of the believer. The little girl who could not keep her husband's secret, that she would talk about semen on her husband's clothes and tell her husband toughest secret. You know, she was so immature that she used to tell people about the semen on her husband's clothes. This is how immature she was. You know, a mature wife in her sound mind don't go about telling her husband's secret out there on the street like that. Muhammad was so delusional. Aisha said Muhammad was so delusional at one point that Muhammad used to believe that he had sex with his wife when he didn't have sex with his wife. Who in their right mind would be telling people those stories? Because she was immature. She could not keep a secret. She could not keep the secret of her husband because she was an immature child. A child will tell things that they are not supposed to tell. Especially a little child. A little child will say stuff, you'll be like, wow. A little child will say stuff. I watched a video the other day where a little boy said to the mama, "Mama, don't you want one of these? Don't you want one for your butt?" in the grocery store. And he was about Aisha's age, 9 years old. he actually tell his mama story in the store. A little black boy. Because kids will tell, remember that thing? Kids say the darnest things. They will tell you a story, man.
What they claim that I lied about. So I stand on what I said. This verse proves that there is a standard for marriage.
So the thing about it is this. You could be selling this verse, but at the same time you are lying. Let me show you how you could lie. Because if you notice in the beginning, he says they're spreading lie and Islam and all this stuff. But when you watch Chris Claus's video, which I'm going to show you how Chris Claus answer back, and God Logic and Danny Davis, you will see that there's another side to the story. Another side to this story that this guy is selling. And if you are not selling both stories, you're a liar. Because you know both stories, but you're acting as if it's only one side to the story. Then you are a liar. If there's two sides to something and you're only selling one, you're deceptive. And literally, that's what you are, a deceiver.
That no, you cannot just marry anybody at any time. There is a standard. And as it says, then if you find in them to be mature or mature of mind or capable of sound judgment, everything that coincides with maturity, thinking like an adult, then you give over their property.
Do you notice that? That's what you need to, you don't realize that. If you find them to be mature, that means they were marrying to immature kids. They were marrying immature kids, because he says when they reach the marriageable age, if they are mature, that means they were marrying to kids who are not mature. They were married at marriageable age, but they were not mature, because you would not have this preposition being used. Then, if you find they are mature, if is a preposition, that means until they reach the marriageable age, then if you find they are mature, that means people were marrying to immature kids. Immature kids. We don't need a rocket scientist to show us that.
Shows that obviously the marriageable age coincides with that. So the verse speaks.
No, it does not. Do you see how deceptive he is? Listen to him.
Time. There is a standard. And as it says, then if you find in them to be mature or mature of mind or capable of sound judgment, everything that coincides with maturity, thinking like an adult, then you give over their property. So this shows that
nothing like that. Nothing like that. He's gonna say it shows. Listen what he says.
Obviously, the marriageable age coincides with that. So
no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Because you could test a person at marriageable age and they are not mature. That's what it actually says here. That if you find that they are mature, so what point at the marriageable age is this test taken? Because what point in marriageable age? What point in marriageable age do you think this test will be taken? That's the thing you got to look at, because we see the example of Muhammad. We see the example of Muhammad, that Muhammad married to Aisha when she was 6. So what time would this test be taken? Aisha, even when she was not mature enough, according to, if you notice what he just says, I want you guys to pay attention to what he just says.
There is a standard for marriage that no, you cannot just marry anybody at any time. There is a standard. And as it says, then if you find in them to be mature or mature of mind or capable of sound judgment, everything that coincides with maturity, thinking like an adult, then you give over their property.
Wow. Was Aisha thinking like an adult? You have a dough, you're making food, you're making food for your family, and you go to sleep and let the goats eat it. Is that thinking like an adult? Is that thinking like an adult? No. And you going around telling your husband's secret about the semen and his clothes, is that thinking like an adult? No. So Aisha was not thinking like an adult. So at the end of the day, what is this clown talking about? What is this clown talking about? Now, we are going to get into a little bit of Chris Claus and Danny Davis and God Logic, just to show you what's going on the other side. And then we get back to this clown. So let's go back. Let's go to Chris Claus, Danny Davis, because this was really a very interesting podcast. So let's get to this and see what's going on this side of the, it's important to show what's going on this side.
Here, Danny, what's the problem with Shadid and you, man?
Well, you know what? That's actually a great question, Chris. So on my time in Clubhouse, believe it or not, I've had very, very few conversations with Shadid Lewis, our friend Shadid. We've actually never really had a decent dialogue between each other. For some reason, he just does not like me. We actually had a brother who recorded a video where Shadid Lewis was cussing somebody out on stage in Clubhouse, and that somebody was actually me. So, why he does not like me, I'm not sure. He says that I'm an Uncle Tom, a bigot. But as far as this video is concerned, our sister...
And people like Shadid, let me tell you the truth, man. They have this Farrakhan mindset, the racist mindset, that Farrakhan mindset, quick to call black people Uncle Tom and stuff like that. Anytime you hear them acting like that, they got a Farrakhan mindset. And people like him, they like to come to people of color like me and say, and try to appeal to race. Man, I can't believe you're following the white man religion. I can't believe those are the kind of way they come to you. And when you hear them calling you Uncle Tom, they themselves are the Uncle Tom. Because they play into every stupidity. And when I say Uncle Tom, I have my own idea of what I would call Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom to me is a man who blames white people for everything. To me, that's an Uncle Tom. An Uncle Tom is a man who get up and instead of motivate himself to move forward, just like white folks, the ambitious white folks motivate themselves to move. Uncle Tom to me is a person who live with a slave mentality in them, mentality. Notice what I say, slave mentality. Not that they're physically slave. Their mind is enslaved, that they blame the white folks for everything that happened in their world. That to me is an Uncle Tom, because what? You're caught in the trap. You're caught in that trap where you can't even release yourself from your own mentality. You enslave your own self, but you blame white people for every demise. Everything that happened to you is because of white people. I don't believe in that kind of stupid crap. I believe this is a world for all people to live in. And there is racist black folks, and there is racist white folks, and there is racist Indian, Chinese, Japanese, wherever you find them. Racist Jamaican, racist, whatever. And I believe I am my own country. That's me. That's how I look at myself. I govern my own self, but I'm living in the world, and so I have to abide by some laws of the world. But I believe that I am my own country. I manage my own affair. I have my own gas stations. I have my own infrastructures. That's how I believe. I have to maintain myself. If you look at your life like that, then you'll be all right. I am the only government. And over my government is the Most High God. But I am the only government that is elected in my country. And my rules are based on God's law. That's what I believe. That I am my own country. The moment you start depending on politics and all this stuff, you're in a bad position, because what? Politics will never solve all our problems. We have to go out and solve some of our problem ourselves. And that's what I believe. So all this Uncle Tom, when I hear black people are mentioning this Uncle Tom craziness, you know, for me, as I say, Uncle Tom is a man who blame white folks for everything. Point their finger at white folks. The very white folks that have work at their job and work hard so that they can put food on their table, just the same way you should work hard to put food on your table, but you're blaming white folks for everything.
Diane reached out to me. She asked me to do a voiceover. So, you know, the majority of the credit definitely goes to her and Sister Rose. They did all the work. You know, they put the video together, and they literally just gave me a script and said, hey, you know, your English is a lot better than ours. Can you please do a voiceover for us? And of course, when one of the sisters in Christ asks for your help, you have no choice but to say yes. So, you know, they had video clips of him lying, as Muslims usually do, that they added to the video, and they just asked me to, you know, read over the sources that they had collected to prove to the audience that he was indeed lying. And, you know, apparently he had a room today refuting that he was a liar. But of course, he does not allow me. He's had me blocked on Clubhouse for well over a year now. So he does not allow me, although he was brave enough to put our names in the title of his room.
So from what I see so far, he lied. And we could see that he lied. Why I say he lied? Because he says they are misrepresenting Islam. He literally, in other words, say that Danny Davis and the two sisters are misrepresenting Islam. And from what we see, we haven't seen any misrepresentation. So we're gonna step up a little bit and get into it.
It's kind of let me just play it. Is this the one that's? Yeah, it is. I think this is the. I think it's the wrong one. Yeah, it's the wrong one. Let me get the right one up here. I just seen the right timing. One's at 2 minutes and one's at 2 minutes and 50 some seconds. So let me get the right one here.
Christians.
There we go. Christians, eh? Weirdly enough. But God Logic, you're going to love it, man, because they're all about you in this one. Oh, I keep opening up the same one. I'm just going to close this one down for a second. There you go. Now I can only open up one of them.
They've been showing me a lot of love these past few days, man.
All right. So what the question was is they wanted to bring up Shake Logic. So let's listen to what's said here.
I'm not allowed to have him on our I may even be in trouble just for having him in an audience, so I don't want to push it, you know.
He may be in trouble. A Muslim say he may be in trouble to have a Christian in the audience. Wow. They are really scared. What a coward group of... Can you imagine that? Somebody paying these clowns something because you may be in trouble for having him in the audience. Can you imagine? You may be in trouble for having a Christian in the audience. In the audience. Not talking, but in the audience. Wow. And these clowns, they don't know. All you gotta do is get on Clubhouse, have a recorder, and record every, somebody just go and go in the audience and record everything that is being said. It's easy to do. I've done that several times. I have so many recording of Muslim talking and Clubhouse on my recorder. It's not hard to record what they're saying. So I don't know. Somebody come with a different avatar and can listen to anything they say. But they are scared. They're running scared. Running real scared, man. So let's see.
But young child, boy or girl, and as a matter of fact, the verse pertains more to young boys and not girls at all. And if that young boy is taken into a home because his family has been killed, whoever takes him in, they take control of his property, his inheritance, and they do not release that inheritance to him until he has reached maturity.
Awesome. I just want to play a little bit of this clip. I just want everybody to go ahead and read this. I'm just going to make it full screen so that we can see what's being said. Let's just play this. Let's just see what this says here.
No, she become his wife and has inheritance right. No, she become his wife and has inheritance right. So exactly like I said, when the child become the man's wife, the man have the inheritance right. So this is why he says to monitor them and mentor them until a marriageable age, because when they are married, when they are mature, you could give them their inheritance. But if they are not mature, you keep their inheritance until they are married. When they are married, the husband get their inheritance right, as this man says right here. Yes, on paper she is his wife, but I'm speaking psychologically, she's only a baby girl. Listen what the woman says. Regardless of who is caring for her, whether her husband or you should only be concerned with Islamic Sharia law. Do you hear what she says to the woman? You should only be concerned with Islamic Sharia law. I understand that Sharia allows a man to marry a baby girl. That is what you have just said, Dr. Ahmed. Correct. Why are we even focusing on that point? It's a very significant minor detail. So this is how crazy a clown like Shadid Lewis is. He don't go and talk to these guys and refute his brothers. What he want to do is put Christian down. Oh, you're a liar and you're this. But look, here is a Muslim sheikh saying that, a scholar saying that according to Sharia, based on Muhammad's teaching, based on the life of Muhammad, you could marry to a baby.
اتكلم عن هذا وبقول يعني نحن مركزين على النقطه دي لا لنقطه جزئيه بسيطه جدا يعني
But it has been hugely controversial.
Just want to point out that this guy just said yes, Sharia law does allow prepubescent marriage, and he's saying yeah, of course. What's the big deal about this? Let's continue.
The man here is saying a girl of 9 could be more suitable for marriage than a 20-year-old. And who are we to decide a minimum age for marriage and whether we need to set an age? What's the deal?
زواج ورفع سن الزواج نرفعه ولا ما نرفعوش؟ الوضع ده ايه؟ هو الراجل ده
This man is saying, let me be clear, there is no minimum age for marriage in Sharia at all. And that's Islamic. So the verse that Shadid Lewis read, it says when they reach the marriageable age. But what is the marriageable age? What is the marriageable age? This is the key thing that need to be focused on. What is the marriageable age? These guys are reading the Quran every day. And they have drawn to the conclusion of what Shadid draw from the Quran, because they're looking at Muhammad's lifestyle that Muhammad married to a 6-year-old. That's what they're looking at. So at the end of the day, what do they understand when they read Surah 4 verse 6?
بيتكلم كلام هو اولا ليس هناك في الشرع تحديد لسن.
Just go ahead and read that. Let him be clear. There is no minimum age for marriage in Sharia at all.
الزواج.
So you see that? But I just wanted to show you guys that. And then we get back to Shadid, and you will see where Shadid trying to use later sources, to clarify his position. He's not using early sources to clarify his position. He's using later sources that came after the fact. Because when people found out the damage of the Quran, they get into damage control and they get into defensive mode and damage control. So what we see here, let's continue.
So this shows that obviously the marriageable age coincides with that. So the verse speaks for itself. The haters can say what they want to say, but let's dig a little deeper. Let's take a look at the tafsir, just in case they want, which says you want to say I lied, right? You want to say.
So he's going to the tafsir, and which tafsir is he going to use? Watch this.
I lied. Okay, well, let's look at the tafsir. Let's start off with first tafsir Jalalain. Again, for those who are on YouTube, you can see the you'll be able to see it on the screen. So here's what Jalalain says in his tafsir of the verse. He says, test well the orphans before reaching maturity with regard the duties of religion and before they can legally manage their own.
Do you notice what it says? Before reaching maturity. So you test them before reaching maturity. I want to pay attention to that.
Fears until they reach the age of marrying. That is, until they have become eligible for it through puberty or legal age, which according to Al-Shafi is the completion of 15 years.
Hold on. Do you hear what he says? It's 15 years. So what did Muhammad violate then? Muhammad violate the Quran. So this got to be a contradiction here, because it seems like Muhammad violate the Quran. And this is why often I told people, if this is the kind of doctrine that these clowns want to promote, Muhammad was never a Muslim. Muhammad was never a Muslim. If this is 15 years old that you're supposed to marry to a girl, then Muhammad was never a Muslim. And he believed that he's saying something here. When we look at Jalalain, what year did Jalalain live? Is Jalalain equal to Ibn Abbas? Is Jalalain equal to Ibn Abbas? No. So in order for them to to spread this kind of stupidity, they have to ignore what Ibn Abbas says in order for them to promote this, like, oh, you can marry to you cannot marry to a immature girl. She have to be 15 years old. Then guess what? They have to ignore what Ibn Abbas says. Because when we look, when you watch even Chris Clark's video, and you watch the video, they were quoting from Ibn Abbas. They were quoting from Ibn Abbas. Ibn Abbas, not Jalalain, but Ibn Abbas. These guys come, he come and he quote Jalalain. Of course, that's damage control. That's damage control. That's total damage control. They're in damage control mode when they try to quote people like Jalalain, because that does not deny what Ibn Abbas says. Let me find it. I'm trying to find Ibn Abbas. I thought I have it up here. Maybe here. I think this is it. IBN. Yeah, I think this is it. IBN. ABB. Okay, so I will show this in a minute, but let me read something from Ibn Abbas. And such for of your women as despair of menstruation because of old age, if ye doubt about their waiting period, their period of waiting shall be 3 months, upon which another man may ask, O messenger of Allah, what about the waiting period for those who do not have menstruation because they are too young? Because they are too young. And this is from Tafsir Ibn Abbas. This is from Tafsir Ibn Abbas. So let me show this and thank God for our brother Sam Shamon, even though it's can be found elsewhere, but he put things together so we don't have to run all over the place and search for things like that. So look at this. Do you see that? This, he says, what about the waiting period for those who do not have menstruation because they are too young? Because of young age, their waiting period is 3 months. Do you see that? Do you see that? So all this stuff that this Muslim is saying, he doesn't realize there's two sides to Islam. like his video, he took Jalalain. Ibn Abbas is above Jalalain. Can that Muslim show us where Jalalain is called the ink of the Ummah?
Then if you perceive in their maturity that is right judgment in matters of religion and their property, deliver their property to them. Okay, so there you go, haters. Diane2022.
He's so like like a two little kid, a baby girl. You know, like he looking at Diane like hater. You know, like when baby girls are quarreling with each other. And like, go away, hater. Man, what is wrong with this guy? What is wrong? The clown is in a religion and he can't even defend the religion to the point where he don't even realize that there is two sides to a story. And Jalalain, who is Jalalain compared to Ibn Abbas? Who is Jalalain to Ibn Abbas? Who is Jalalain to Ibn Abbas? Wow.
I didn't lie about anything. I know what I'm talking about.
Yes, you did lie. You did lie because you say they are lying. You say they are lying and they are misrepresenting Islam and all this stuff, in other words. But what you don't realize, it is Jalalain who is misrepresenting Islam. Jalalain is misrepresenting Islam because there is no way, or Allah is misrepresenting. Allah must be a liar because Allah must have two faces. With one mouth, he's saying this, okay, or a 15-year-old is okay. And then with another mouth, he's saying that immature girls are okay. From what you are saying versus what Ibn Abbas said, Allah must have two mouths. Two stupid mouths. With one mouth, he's saying something, and with another mouth, he's saying something different. Because we see that it is okay to have sex, not to married to a premature girl. And we see that Muhammad had sex with a premature girl. A premature girl, because Muhammad had sex with Aisha when she was 9. When she came to Muhammad's house, and we see that at the time when they accused Aisha of cheating, Aisha is said to be an immature girl who allow goats to eat the family dough. She fall asleep and allow the goats to eat the family dough. Not like, oh, it's one occasion. It's like they're seeing fault with her, that she's immature.
It's clear that it is understood that marriage, the marrying age, or the time period, or the point of marriage is, as it speaks, as Jalalain speaks, the time of which puberty is reached.
No. So what you do with Ibn Abbas, this is where the craziness of this clown comes in. What you do with Ibn Abbas, if you're gonna, Ibn Abbas was the one that Muhammad prayed to Allah for understanding of the Quran. Did Muhammad pray to Allah to give understanding to Jalalain?
And the person is mature. Clearly not about children. So again, this point,
and it's so sad that you don't even see that the person could reach the marriageable age and still not mature. You don't see from the Quran, the same Quran verse that you read, Quran 4 verse 6, it is saying that if you find that they are mature, if that means a person could reach the marriageable age and still not mature. So I don't know what he's talking about. And how do they draw to the conclusion that it is it is 15 years old. How? How did they draw to that conclusion that it's 15 years old?
This verse proves that there is a standard for marriage and that these orphans are supposed to be tested when they reach that point. Again, if there was no point, as the haters claim.
And this is so crazy. I don't know if they make the claim that you could have married to the girls at any age whatsoever. But do you see that this man in the video that Chris Claus play, he actually believed that you could marry to them at, it seems like, at any whatever age you want to. But what he doesn't say is that you can have sex with them. He doesn't say that you can have sex with them, but he said you could marry to them at, I don't know what age range he says, but it seems like he's saying that at whatever age you want. But if Muhammad is a perfect example, then 6 years old is when you can marry to a child in Islam. 6 years old is enough.
Then why does the verse mention that you test them until they reach that point? Why? Because obviously it's a standard. It's understood that the marriageable age is at a time of sound judgment, a point of.
No, Aisha didn't have sound judgment. You know, he's not. That's not what the verse is saying. He says, if, that means you test them until the marriageable age, and if that means there are kids, according to Islam, there are kids at the marriageable age who does not have sound judgment. Who does not have sound judgment. You could marry to a kid when they don't have sound judgment. And Aisha is the epitome of a person without sound judgment. Aisha, before she grew up a little, was the epitome of a kid without sound judgment.
Of maturity. It's very clear. Okay? Very clear, haters. But let's go to another tafsir. Let's go to Tafsir Ibn Kathir. Again, those who are on YouTube, you will be able to see it on the screen. Ibn Kathir says of Surah 4 verse 6, giving back the property of the orphans when they reach adulthood. He says, Allah says, and test orphans, meaning test their intelligence. As Ibn Abbas, Mujahid, Al-Hassan, As-Sudi, and Muqatil bin Hayyan stated, until they reach the age of marriage, meaning the age of puberty, according to Mujahid. Haters, where did
I look at this? Do you see this is why I tell you that whoever wrote the Quran is a donkey. And the all Islamic system is the system of donkey. Do you see what he's showing right here? Look what he's showing right here. Look what he is showing right here. Now let's look at Quran, and we are gonna go there and look at the tafsir. Let's actually look at this. Let's look at this. We are gonna look at this. We're gonna put this here. Look at this. Let's show you something, my friends. So you see where he says Ibn Abbas say this. He says Ibn Abbas say this. But look what Ibn Abbas also says. And this is how dangerous Islam is. And nobody with the right mind should follow this religion, because this religion is a dangerous thing. He said Ibn Abbas, he's quoting Ibn Abbas says, and we're going to read what he actually to see if it's true what he's saying. But this is Ibn Abbas talking about Surah 65 verse 4 that talk about the menstrual cycle. Look what Ibn Abbas says. Abbas, see? Ibn Abbas, this is Abbas, Ibn Abbas, Tafsir Ibn Abbas. Do you see that? And for such of your women as this despair of menstruation because of old age, if he doubt about their waiting period, their period of waiting shall be 3 months, upon which another man may ask, O messenger of Allah, what about the waiting period for menstruation because they are too young? Along with those who have it not because of young age. Do you see this? Along with those who have no period because of young age. He says their waiting period is 3 months. They have no period because of young age. This is talking about marriage, divorce. Do you see the dumb, wicked, reprobatical religion that these clowns have? Do you see how big his mouth is and how he's running off his mouth? And he don't see that his religion come from 2 mouths? I keep telling these clowns, Allah have 2 mouths, which we know Allah is Muhammad's alter ego. Muhammad have 2 mouths. Most of the clowns in Islam have 2 mouths. So what we're going to do now, we are going to look at Surah 4, and to show you the difference, that these donkeys, and so which mouth do you follow? Let's look at if what he say Ibn Abbas says. We are going to look at that. So now we're going to go to Surah 4, Surah 4, and verse 6, and then we put tafsir, Tafsir, and see what we're going to see here. Tafsir. So right here, let's see what Ibn Abbas say according to him. Let's see what Ibn Abbas say according to him. This is Ibn Kathir. So he say Ibn Kathir says something about Ibn Abbas. Let's see. Let's see if we can find the word Ibn Abbas here. Just to show you the danger of this religion. That's Ibn Kathir here. A, B. I haven't seen no Abbas there, so let's look somewhere else. I don't know where he's looking. Okay, let's try here. You know what? Put Abbas beside it. That's where. Abbas. Abbas. Okay, let's try this. So what we see here, this is Ibn Abbas. Prove often test their intelligence till they reach the marriageable age, the age of puberty. Do you see what he wrote? The age of puberty. Do you see the deception? Do you see the deception? Do you see the deception? When he's giving tafsir and 65 verse 4, he says without puberty. That means they have their menstruation. So you could divorce them at a certain time when they have their menstruation. But now he's saying that the age of puberty. Or maybe he's understanding it just like I understand it earlier to you. If this is not deception, then he is understanding it exactly like I understand it. Let me show you remember what I said to you guys, that when I read this, what I am understanding from this is this. You test them from the beginning of the marriage period to when they are mature. Or else, what we are seeing is Allah is a lying, wicked, bastard clown, just like I believe. And Muhammad is a lying, wicked, bastard clown. Ibn Abbas is a lying, wicked, bastard clown. Because how can you be telling people you can divorce a woman before they see their period, and then you're gonna say that. Then you're gonna say that before they reach the age of puberty. What does it mean? Puberty of in what way? How do a girl reach the age of puberty? So you could marry to a girl who haven't seen her period yet. Who haven't seen her period according to 65 verse 4. You could marry to a girl who haven't seen her period yet because what? She's too young. Not because of they have so many medical conditions that cause women not to see their girls not to see their period. But this is not what that was talking about. It actually was talking about the youthful age. We go back. Do you see what he says here? O messenger of Allah, O messenger of Allah, what about the waiting period for those who do not have menstruation because they are too young, along with those who have it not because of their age? Along with those who have it not because of their young age. And he said their waiting period is. Do you see that? So puberty is measured out. Let's look at something here. So what is so do you see this? Puberty in girls, and this is the craziness about it. Let's share this with you guys. You guys need to see, and this is actually governmental. So let's share this with you and show you that they could have sex with babies. Watch this. Puberty begins. When does puberty begins in a girl? So look at this. Do you see right here? Puberty in girls usually begins the age 8 and 13 and lasts for several years. Ow! Age 8. 8. Muhammad had sex with Aisha when she was 9 years old. So what is puberty? It is a time when your body develops and matures. So you want to tell me now that an 8-year-old, so what they started doing maybe in the Islamic world, according to Ibn Abbas, they started looking for little signs. And as soon as they see any slightest sign, oh, yes, they're ready to be married. They're ready to be married. Remember the verse says, test them until the marriageable age. But it also says if they are mature, that means the marriageable age can be immaturity. Immaturity, where they're not fully mature. So you see that 8 years old. 8 years old. So Muslims, is that pedophilia? That's pedophilia. That's pedophilia. That is pedophilia. So I don't know why he's trying to cover up stuff, why he believe, but you see the double mouth, you know, the double mouth. So they weren't having sex with girls who were seeing the menstrual period, they were having sex with girls who don't even have a menstrual period, as long as they are started puberty. As long as they started puberty. That's what Ibn Abbas is saying right there. As long as they started puberty. And what is puberty for a different culture? Is puberty for what culture? What is it? I don't know. What was what is it? What were they looking for? It's a time when the body develops and matures. Puberty prepare your body so one day you will be able to have a baby. Do you see that? So 8-year-old, 8 and 13. Between 8 and 13. So when Aisha says Muhammad have sex with her at 9, maybe some little changes Muhammad see in her body and have sex with her. Slight little changes, not having no and I want you guys to pay attention where this is from. www.healthdirect.gov. Anytime you see GOV, this is scholarly. This is not just something that somebody just pick up and just write somewhere. It is scholarly. Let's go somewhere else and show you from something. This is the Cleveland Clinic. The Mayo Clinic and the Cleveland Clinic, they are good good clinics. So let's look at something. They are good clinics. So let's see. Puberty is a time in your child's life when let me see, I made that big so you guys could see it. So puberty is a time in your child's life. Puberty is, what's going on? It's jumping. Puberty is a time in your child's life when they transition from a child to adult. So, but the transition begin at a point, and that's the point where, according to this guy, and what he's quoting from Ibn Abbas, marriageable age begins when puberty begins. Wow. Can you? Special hormones are produced and released that trigger the signs of puberty. Your child will go through 5 stages of puberty. By the end of the process, they will reach sexual maturity. Do you see that? By the end of the process, Muhammad had sex with Aisha when she was 9. 9. No wonder Aisha couldn't have any children. Muhammad destroyed her sexual organ. What a catastrophe. What is puberty? So if you look at, let me see if there's an age there. Let me see if there's an age. AGE. And look at it. Both the physical and emotional changes of puberty begins and end at a different age for each child. Do you see that? So each child so some kids could begin at 8, while some kids could begin before 8. No, after 8, sorry. After 8. So some kids could begin, but it's between 8 and 13. Can you imagine having sex with an 8-year-old, marrying to an 8-year-old? Pedophilia. Islam promote pedophilia. So even when he quote puberty, Islam still promote pedophilia. It does promote pedophilia. It does. This guy have no clue. But Islam does promote pedophilia. It does. So let's look at SU. Let's go back and look at SU. Let's look at this. Because we want to see what he says here. We want to see what Ibn Abbas really say. Because the guy is not quoting exactly what Ibn Abbas says. And we want to look into exactly what Ibn Abbas says for ourselves. Because this is how we educate ourselves. But we see where Ibn Abbas confirmed that they were having sex, they were marrying to children without children who have no menstruation. You see that? He confirmed that they were having sex they were marrying to children without menstruation, and Muhammad have sex with Aisha at 9 years old. Puberty begins at 8. So let's continue. Look what he says here. Then if you find them off, if you see that they possesses sound judgment, righteousness in religion, and a tendency to protect their wealth. Look at this. So if puberty begins at 8, this is exactly what I was saying. If puberty begins at 8, and Ibn Abbas is saying that till they reach the marriageable age, the age of puberty, and some girls can start their puberty at 8. What is this talking about? If you find of them, if they see that they can possess sound judgment, righteousness in religion, and a tendency to protect their wealth. So he's saying that you can marry to these kids at the age of puberty, but if you find they're going to continue under their guardian until they get to this point. Protection of wealth. Could Aisha protect wealth? No. Aisha could not protect wealth. What was said about Aisha? Let me show you guys again what was said about Aisha. And Aisha was married to Muhammad, and this was said about Aisha. And thank you guys for coming out listening to me. I appreciate you guys. God bless you all, my brothers and sisters. Look what was said about Aisha. Look. A girl like this, how can she protect wealth? Barrera said, no, by Allah, who has sent you with the truth, I have never seen in her anything faulty, except that she is a girl of immature age who sometimes leave the dough for the goats to eat. How can she protect her wealth and anything when she can't even take care of her own? She leave the dough for the goats to eat. So she's making food and she leave the dough for the goat to eat. When I was a kid, I grew up on a little farm type, homestead type thing. You know, for most of my life, parents have animals and stuff. And we have chickens. We call them common fowl. Common fowl mean they are not anything special. They are just regular, everyday domestic chicken. That's what they, you know. And when my mom is cooking, my mom would call us. Like sometimes they have this wood fire that they make on the outside. In case you cannot make the wood fire in the kitchen, so the wood fire is made on the outside, and certain things she cook it on the wood fire on the outside. And she would call us and say, "Hey, come here, boy." And he would come and say, "Hey, what's up, mama?" She'd be like, "Hey, I want you to watch the chicken while I do this. So you got to watch the chickens. And and keep them away from your mom cooking area. So you there, and when you make the sound, shh, the chicken don't like that sound because it sounds like a mongoose. It sounds like a mongoose, and mongoose eat chicken. So when you make that shh sound, they move away because they don't like that shh sound because mongoose make that sound. So we would sit there and be like shh, shh, and they would stay away. You know? But I was a little baby boy. And I know that it was important that I use that shh to keep the chickens away. But look what Aisha was doing. A girl of immature age, and sometimes she fell asleep and leaves the door for the goats to eat. Man, these goats were eating all kind of stuff. A goat eat the Quran, or a sheep. Was it a sheep or a goat? An only goat. She was leaving everything for the goats to eat, man. I'm surprised she's still alive. After she lived, she was leaving herself for the goat to eat her. If there was, if she have pigs, the pigs would eat her. Do you see how immature she was? But according to Ibn Abbas is saying that if he finds them off, if you see that they possess sound judgment. Did Aisha possess sound judgment? No. Righteousness in religion and a tendency to protect their wealth. Deliver over to them their fortune. Then give their wealth which is with you. You could give Aisha your wealth. Hell to the no. We know that. You could not give Aisha anything. The only thing you could give Aisha is sing her a lullaby and rock her to sleep. Go to sleep, little babe. That's the only thing you could do for Aisha. So let's continue to see what this guy is saying as we go along. So you see, the guy haven't make any point that deny anything. All we see is either this religion have two mouths, as I always say, Islam have two mouths, you know, or, you know, it's actually revealing that you could marry to an 8-year-old. That's what he's saying. That, okay, you could marry to an 8-year-old. But according to some narration, Aisha was 7 when Muhammad married to her. And some say that she was 6. But they all say that he had sex with her when she was 9-year-old. And we see that puberty starts from 8 to 13. So Muhammad could not wait. He had sex with her as soon as he see the first leaf growing on the tree. He started eating the collard green. As soon as the first leaf grow on the tree, the collard greens, he plucked the collard green, cooked the collard green, and ready to eat it. He couldn't even wait for the carrot to become fully mature. What a man.
I lied. Where did Shadid Lewis lie, Diane and Danny2022?
You lied because you're not weighing up all the evidence. You're not weighing up all the evidence. What did you put here? Danny Lewis and caught lying. Many. Child marriage. Pedophilia in Islam is refuted. How did he refute pedophilia? Do you see what he have here? Danny Davis and Diane2022 caught lying many times. Child marriage. Pedophilia in Islam refuted. How did he refute pedophilia in Islam? Tell me how he did that. Where did he do that? Far as you see, you go all the way to the end of his video and nowhere he refuted pedophilia. Nowhere. He can refute. A Muslim cannot refute pedophilia. Can never, ever refute pedophilia, that there is pedophilia in their religion. All they can do is talk nonsense. How can they refute pedophilia? Where? Where are you going to see that?
Even the tafsir says this means when they reach the age of marriage, the age of puberty. So clearly the Quran understands that there is a standard for marriage. And it is what? The age of puberty.
And what is the age of puberty? Child marriage, pedophilia, child marriage. So how you say you refute anything? What is the age of puberty? I just show you 8 to 13 years old. 8 to 13 years old. That's what the age of puberty is.
It starts at the age of puberty, the age where the person is mature.
He said the age of puberty is the age where the person is mature. He said until they reach the age of puberty. So the age of puberty start when? When you are 8 years old. You're not mature. And according to Ibn Abbas, you could have married to a girl who doesn't have a menstrual cycle. Who does not have a menstrual cycle. Because of her age. Because of her age. Not because of any bodily dysfunction, as this clown is going to do. You will see where he go to the Mayo Clinic. Let me see if this is where he go to the Mayo Clinic. Yeah, here he is. So this is what this guy do. I'm a nurse, so let's look at what this guy do. So he go to the Mayo Clinic. So he go to the Mayo Clinic. You will see where he go to the Mayo Clinic.
Okay, it's very clear. All right, very clear. I'm posting on the screen the condition that I mentioned, anamoria. This is from Mayo Clinic, mayoclinic.org.
What did he say? Anna Mary. What did he say? Anna Maria.
Very clear. I'm posting on the screen the condition that I mentioned, anamoria.
Is amenorrhea. 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 Now, Anna Maria, what is it? So, in this is a disorder in a sense where the absence of menstrual cycle. But this is not what the Quran verse is talking about. This is not what 65 verse 4 is talking about. This may be included in it. Yes, it may be included in it. But if we look at what Ibn Abbas says, if you look at what Ibn Abbas says, you can't go beyond what Ibn Abbas says. And this is what he's trying to tell you. Take what Ibn Abbas says, but at the same time, he's going beyond, trying to go beyond what Ibn Abbas says. Let me show you 65:4. Show you guys that this guy is going beyond what Ibn Abbas says. He don't want to, he would never show you. He would never show you what Ibn Abbas says. But he will show you what Ibn Abbas say about puberty, but he will never show you what Ibn Abbas says about this verse. Why is it? Because he's hiding something from you. He's hiding something from you. And this is the deception of this clown, that he cannot show what Ibn Abbas says in this occasion. He must hide the truth, because this is what they are. Clowns out here trying to brainwash people. Watch this. This is what Ibn Abbas says. He said, another man asks Muhammad. A man asks Muhammad, because they are too young. Another man asks, O messenger of Allah, what about the waiting period of those who do not have menstruation because they are too young? Not because of amenorrhea. Not because of amenorrhea. Not because of amenorrhea. See, the word rhea means flow, like diarrhea, and amenorrhea means flow. So rhea is a suffix that means flow. And when you see the word amenorrhea, that's actually what it means. Amenorrhea. When you see the suffix a, it means absence, none. And meno mean menopause. So meno mean menstrual, anything to do with menopause mean that the meno is pause. There is no more meno. So meno mean period, literally. That's what it means. So it's actually saying that if you put it together, no menstrual flow. That's what it means. Amenorrhea means no menstrual flow. So, but this have nothing to do with menstrual flow. When it says it's actually talk about age. The reason is not, it have nothing to do with amenorrhea. It have to do with age, because they are too young. Because they are too young. And what did Muhammad say? Along with those who had it not because of age, their waiting period is 3 months. So I don't know. The guy is like an acrobat. He is from Ringling, Barnum and Bailey Circus. That was the name, right? Ringling, Barnum and Bailey. Yeah, this Muslim is like an acrobat from Ringling, Barnum and Bailey Circus. What he's doing, trying to get himself around what his religion says. So I don't know why this clown gone to Mayo Clinic acting like he's intelligent. Run like a donkey to me. So my brother put it there. Amenorrhea, yeah, amenorrhea is the absence of menstruation, often defined as missing one or more menstrual period. Do you see how it says absence? So the A stand for absence. The men stand for the meno stand for the menstrual cycle, and then the rhea mean flow. So absence of menstrual flow. That's what it actually means. Right, there you go, my brother. Look at this guy, man. This guy is like Dr. Phil. This guy is quick. Yes, amenorrhea is the absence or cessation of menses. It may be psychological, pathological. What does this mean? I've never heard this word before. Iatrogenic. I need to look that up. I'm a nurse. I should have known that. Iatrogenic. I've never heard that word before. Regarding to illness. Oh, wow. Medical examination or treatment. Okay. I've never heard that word before. Wow. I'm learning something from you, Phil. Thank you, brother. Now I will remember that. Okay, so let's see. This gives the girl time to learn from her mother how to run a home. Right. I see what you're saying, Carol. Let me see the first part. They are thinking of the beginning of puberty, the first signs. Wait until all the signs are there. Development of the body mentions. What he said? Oh, say they are thinking of the beginning of puberty, the first signs. Wait until all the signs are there. Development of the body, menstrual, reaching the age, puberty. And she says, this gives the girl time to learn from her mother how to run her home and care for. I don't know where she's going with that, if I'm understanding where she's going with that. But what we are talking about, from the example of Muhammad, we can see straight that Muhammad married to her when she was either 6 and have sex with her when she was 9. So I don't know if what Kirby is saying, you know, but we know that the age of marriage would be around 8 years old. But if you're following Muhammad's example, it would be 6 years old. Because if you're talking about maturity, when she reached puberty begins at 8. In some cases, puberty begins at 8. You said I mean, you have to let puberty run its course to full maturity. And what are you trying to say, Carol? I'm not getting what you're trying to say. When it comes to Islam, what are you saying? That they wait until the girl become fully mature before they marry to the girl? No, not in that case. If it run full maturity, then the girls would be on their period. The girls would be on their menstrual cycle. But according to Ibn Abbas, they were marrying and divorcing girls without their menstrual cycle. This 65 verse, Islam wants to marry at the first sign. Oh, I see what it's right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yes, the first sign of maturity, that's when the first sign of maturity, when a girl begin to mature, that's when they want to marry to these girls. Islam is a disease, man. A disease. And then, do you see what he tried to do? As if he debunked these brothers, the brother and the 2 sisters. But I didn't know we got some warrior girls, some warrior ladies on what they call that? Clubhouse. Man, I need to visit Clubhouse some more to tune in and listen, because I love see when women handle these Islamic donkeys, man. When I say Dawa donkeys, that's what I meant to say. When Islam cannot wait. Islam is Muhammad. Muhammad saw a woman going down the street. Muhammad could not control his sexual desire. And guess what? He even couldn't even wait until he go home. He run home to have sex with the wife he stole from his adopted son. This is the danger of this religion, man. The inability to control themselves. The inability to control themselves. They have no ability. If the prophet have no ability to control himself, what do you think these people can do? They cannot control themselves. They cannot control themselves. All this nonsense about. And so let's look. So he went to the Mayo Clinic and he go to all this stuff. He went to this stuff for a long period of time, talking about amenorrhea, and believe he debunked. So let's look at some other things that he talked about, and then we finish this up. So he talked about Ibn Taymiyyah. I think
You're done. You're finished. But let's read first.
He said, you're done. You're finished. Do you see anybody finish? Do you see anybody finish at all? What is it say down here? Child marriage, pedophilia in Islam refuted. Have he refuted anything so far as you see I'm showing here? No, he have not refuted anything whatsoever. And then look at Tafsir. Let's look at Tafsir al-Jalalain, and we show you something. Let's look. Remember, he mentioned Tafsir al-Jalalain, and let's look at Tafsir al-Jalalain for a minute. Let's look at that. Because since he mentioned that it's good that we look at Tafsir al-Jalalain concerning the other verse, Surah 65 verse 4. Let's look at that. What Jalalain says. Let's look at that. So that was Ibn Abbas. This is Jalalain. Now let's look what Jalalain says, my friend, because we don't play with Abduls no more, because they won't wait until the girls mature. They come knocking at the father's door. Say, give me your daughter, I'm ready to slaughter. No more inner life, no more laughter. Mm-hmm. Look at this, what Al-Jalalain says. And as for those, and this is 65 verse 4, as for those of your women, notice what he say, women, and look who they call women. Remember Ibn Abbas up here? What Ibn Abbas say up here? Because they are too young. Menstruation because they are too young, and they call them women. Oh, you gonna call a baby a woman? Man, I have a granddaughter. She is 13 years old. Man, I'll be like, girl, go sit your little baby self down. Like, we call her no woman. She mess around and be like, girl, go sit somewhere over there. You are a baby. So look, and as for those of your women who no longer expect to menstruate, if you have any doubts about their waiting period, their prescribed waiting period shall be 3 months. And also for those who have not yet menstruated, Because of what? And this is talking about divorce. Because of their young age. The reason they did not menstruate is because of their young age. Their period shall also be 3 months. Both cases apply to other than those whose spouses have died. Do you see that? Whoa. Do you see? So they were having sex with babies. Little girls. Little girls. And he quoted Jalalain. So either he's telling us that his God have two mouths, two dangerous, wicked, viperous mouth, or he's telling us that Islam promote pedophilia. Which one you want to choose? Which one is this clown going to choose? Is he going to choose the fact that his God is a wicked shake you or Calypso? Oh man, I'm just trying, man. War, good rhyming. Hey, what's up, Sheikh? How are you, man? No goat is safe. No control, no goat is safe. Hence 1 month, and the last was the surah as payback for more dirty deed. So a goat take revenge, man. A goat. Say, only Islam is finished. They cannot change what is in their books. Can't. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's going on. They're trying to change things that cannot be changed. Man, I tell you, this guy is fast. And maybe he put it up there before I even look for it. He's good at this stuff, man. I'm so slow at this computer thing. Anyway, so let's continue. Do you see he quoted Jalalain as Jalalain is talking about mature girls and puberty, but we see that puberty for Islam mean a maturity for Islam, according to this clown, mean as soon as you reach puberty, as soon as you say boop and become 8-year-old and any signs of anything, you are ready. Wow. Ain't it crazy, man? Mess up these little girls' life, destroy them. This is crazy. You know, it's just weird. It's a weird religion, man. Weird. So let's get back to see what some of his clownery. So he think that, okay, I debunked these people. You have not debunked anybody. And, you know, you haven't debunked anybody. And if you notice that they're talking about Islam and the Sheikh agree that you could have sex with any age. You could marry, not really have sex, but married to any age. Married to any age.
Further, let's read further. Again, on this, for those who are watching on the screen, shout out to the website QuranAnswers.me. All right. They have an article about this issue. Does Islam allow marriage with prepubescent girls? So they have a statement given by Ibn Taymiyyah that further backs up my point that no, Islam does not allow pedophilia, does not allow marriage with children that are underage and intercourse with them. No.
So what do they call underage? And this is what does Ibn Taymiyyah call underage? What does he call underage?
I repeat, I say it very boldly, no such thing is allowed, haters. So your video is trash, but I'm trashing it right.
Wow, he really believes he's doing something. What is wrong with this guy, man? He really believes that he is doing something. Totally.
Now, here's what it says, those who are watching on YouTube. And again, for those who later, when I'm done with this, I'll put these notes on my Patreon. And if you want to use the notes from the Patreon, you can do that, inshallah. But let's read the article and what they say about Ibn Taymiyyah, what Ibn Taymiyyah says from the scholarly opinion. Ibn Taymiyyah narrated from Ibn Shubruma that he said, it is not permissible to arrange a marriage for a young girl who has not reached the age of puberty. Because if we say that that is subject to her consent.
Wow. And who are these people? Who are these people? Like, you know, he said, oh, until reach the age of puberty, but we see that puberty begins at 8 years old. Puberty begins at 8 years old. So who are these people that they have more say over Ibn Abbas and all these people? You know, who are these people that he's quoting? I don't know who he's quoting. You know, who is he quoting? I don't know. I don't know at all. Who is this? Who is he quoting? Let's look at something here. Let me see. Where is it? Let me see. Let me see. I just put it there. I don't know why it didn't show up. But who are these people that he's quoting and say, okay, this doesn't mean this and this doesn't mean that? Who are they? And is there one side of Islam? Is there one side of Islam? No, there's not one side of Islam. Not one side of Islam what at all. So I don't know why he resort to bashing these people when these people are looking at another side of Islam where not the ones who are trying damage control, but the real Islam, with not the one in damage control. Okay. Let's see. I don't know why this show up here, but okay. I think this might be it. Okay, let's see this. I think this might be it right here. Okay, here we go. Look at this, my people. This is more damaging. This is more damaging. Here is more damage to the Abduls. Let me show you more damage to this guy. Because this guy have no sense whatsoever. He quote from Ibn Kathir. And we'll show you that all we can see is contradiction from the same people. Watch this. Ibn Kathir, watch this. The Ida, mean the period of wait of those in menopause and those who do not have menses. Notice it says those who do not have menses. So Allah the Exalted clarified the waiting period of a woman. Notice it said woman, of the woman. Wow. In menopause. So that's a woman. If you're in menopause, you're a woman. And that is the one whose menstruation had stopped due to older age. Her Ida is 3 months instead of 3 monthly cycles for those who menstruate, which is based upon the ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah, C2 228. The same for the young. Look at this. The same for the young who have not reached the years of menstruation. So the waiting period after divorce, they're talking about divorce and the waiting period. And what he says, the same for the young who has not reached the years of menstruation. Nothing to do with amenorrhea. Nothing to do with amenorrhea. But because they are too young and they haven't reached the age of menstruation. Do you see that? Serious. Serious, serious, serious. Very, very serious. And it's not looking good for this guy. Not looking good for this guy at all. Not looking good. So what we see here is that he's trying to sell something, but what he's selling is not working out for him. It's not working out.
Her consent does not count because she is too young to make such decisions. And when she does reach the age of puberty, we believe that she should not be forced into a marriage. Let me read that again. Ibn Taymiyyah said from Ibn Shubruma, if I'm saying that right, that he said, it is not permissible to arrange a marriage for a young girl who has not reached the age of puberty.
That is totally lie. Everybody knows that's a lie. Everyone knows that's a lie. That's a damage control lie. Total damage control lie. Total damage control lie. How old was Aisha? Did Aisha reach the age and maturity? No, we know that. And even when Aisha was older, she wasn't even still mature to make good decision at all. So let me show you guys something. Aisha said her dolls were with her. So I don't know if a girl making playing with dolls can make mature decision on marriage. You know, I don't know. Let me show you even let me show you something. Let's show something here. It's sad that this guy believes that this guy really believes really believes that he have something saying. Let me show you. I think I'm not picking up the whole right thing. I want to find it. Where am I finding it? Where is it? That say she was playing with a doll. She was playing with a doll. I'm trying to find it, but I can't find it. Oh, my dolls, DOLLS were with me. So this is Sunan Ibn Majah, 1982. It was narrated that Aisha said, I used to play with my dolls when I was with the Messenger of Allah, and he used to bring my friends to me to play with me. This sound like does this sound like it was a mature environment, as this Muslim is trying to say? No, it was not. You could lie to yourself as much as you want to lie to yourself, and listen to people who are shameful of Islam as much as you want to. The reality is the reality. Aisha said she used to play with her dolls when she was with Muhammad, and he used to bring my friends to play with me. Sai, Sunan Ibn Majah, 1982. 82. So I don't know. Here it is. I used to play with dolls in the presence of the prophet. My girlfriends also used to play with me. So it was children. They were children, little kids, little babies. When Muhammad married to her, I don't know why this guy believes that the things he say will nullify the reality. The things you say doesn't nullify reality. And Ibn Taymiyyah and those guys, they don't nullify reality. You know, reality is reality. And Ibn Taymiyyah is not above the hadith. He's not above Ibn Abbas. He's not. So I don't know what is going on with this guy, man.
Because if we say that this is subject to her consent does not count, i.e., because she would be too young to make the decision. And when she does reach the age of puberty, we believe that she should not be forced into marriage. And of course, this is backed up by the Sunnah of the Prophet, peace be upon him, where he clearly mentions that, and I'll give the reference for that too, where he clearly mentions that a girl, a virgin, a woman, period, cannot be married without her consent. This means she has to be, obviously, she has to.
Oh, so was Aisha. Like, Aisha, do you want to marry to the prophet? Yes. You know, my little son, if you ask him, most time you ask him things, he said yes. Most time you ask my son some things, he said yes, unless it is something that he really don't want. He'd be like, no. He would tell you no straight out. But most time you ask him something, he tell you yes. He literally tell you yes. For real. Wow, man. This guy is really
to know what she's doing, because a marriage is a contract, and only adults with sound mind and maturity can consent to a contract.
Oh, wow. Wow. A marriage is a contract for who? A marriage is a contract for who? You know, we know that in Islam, a marriage is a contract for who? Like, and in those days, a marriage is a contract for who? Who is the marriage a contract for? I don't know why this guy don't use his brain. A marriage is a contract for who? When the child is young, the contract is between who? I wonder which side is this. The most famous Quranic scholar and the pedophile verse, Surah 64. He says, I need to let you guys see this, even though, but it make a lot of sense. Make a lot of sense. Then we could end this thing, because this guy, nothing that he says at all doesn't debunk pedophilia and Islam. Nothing. The most famous Quranic scholar and the pedophile verse, Quran 64, Tabari, Ibn Kathir, Kutubi, Razi, Shakani, and 24 others. Okay, So a few days ago, I quoted the tafsir of some famous Quranic scholar of all time by the name of Al-Tabari. Tabari in his tafsir of 65 verse 4 says that the verse referred to the divorce of prepubescent girl after the husband of the girl are married and has sexual intercourse with her. A very understandable opinion, given that a waiting period after a divorce only applies to those whom a husband had sex with. Yes, that's actually what it says. For so far, the Quran to say that a waiting period, and the reason for the waiting period is pregnancy. The reason for the waiting period is actually a pregnancy. That's what it is really for. So far, the Quran to say there is a waiting period for those who have not menstruated but must be established in a big indicator of pedophilia. Yes. Sure enough, Tabari came to the obvious conclusion. One user was quite shocked and thanked me for bringing this to everybody's attention. You are welcome, by the way. And another quote, 3 more scholars who said this referred to young girls, and another said they started a debate thread on another subreddit. So this is for all these people who need to be interested in the topic. Seems to be interested in this topic. Tafsir Tabari. The interpretation of the verse as those of your women have passed the age of monthly courses, for them the Ida prescribed period is, if you have doubt about their period, is 3 months, and for those who have no courses, i.e. they are still immature, their Ida prescribed period is 3 months likewise. Ibn Kathir, we see all this. I will look through this before. We already looked through this. Now look at Tafsir Razi. And those who have not menstruated yet, a man stood and asked, O messenger, do you notice he said the same thing that Ibn Abbas said? O messenger of Allah, what is the period either for the young girl who have not yet menstruated? Then Allah revealed, and those who have not menstruated yet, meaning that her Ida is like the old age who reach her menopause. Tafsir Zamak Sari, those who have not menstruated are young girls. Tafsir Al-Shakani, those who have not menstruated yet are young girls who have not reached the age of menstruation. Tafsir Kotobi, and those who have not menstruated yet means the young girls, their Ida is 3 months. Tafsir Bedawi, and those who have not menstruated yet, meaning those who have not menstruated yet. Wow, that was just blunt. Those who have not menstruated yet mean those who have not menstruated yet. That's straight. And we already read Jalalain. Tafsir Mujahid Ibn Jabbar. If you have doubt, means if you do not know whether she menstruates or not. Those who do not longer menstruate, and those who have not yet menstruated, their either is 3 months. And we know what Ibn Abbas say about the same thing, O Messenger of Allah, because they're too young and all that stuff. We see that. Sahih, look at Sahih from Sahih Bukhari. A man giving his young children in marriage by the words of Allah. See, a man giving his young. Remember, the guy says that you cannot marry. Without consent. The man is the one giving the consent. Notice what he says here. A man giving his young children into marriage by the words of Allah. That also applies to those who have not yet menstruated, and he made the Ida for a girl before puberty 3 months. Do you see that? So, according to the stupidity that this clown was reading, it says a man can, a child cannot be married without her consent, but that's a lie, because a man can give his young children in marriage. So, whose consent is needed? The parents' consent, not the children's consent. Tafsir al-Wahidi. And for the young women, as despair of menstruation, said Muqatil, when the verse, women are divorced, shall wait, keeping themselves apart. Khalid bin al-Numan ibn Qais al-Ansari said, oh, so that no, the man actually named the person who said it. O Messenger of Allah, what is the waiting period for a woman? Notice what he said, for the woman who has not menstruated and the woman who has not menstruated yet. Woman who has not menstruated and the woman who has not menstruated yet. And what is the waiting period for the pregnant? And so Allah exalted, he said, reveal the verse. When Amir Bil Salim said, when the waiting period for the divorce and the widow woman are mentioned in Surah Bakari, Ubay ibn Ka'b said, O Messenger of Allah, some women of Medina are saying there are other women who have not been mentioned. He said, and who are they? He said, those who are too young, such as they have not started menstruating yet. So do you see who they were calling women? Children. Those who are too old and those who are pregnant. Do you see that? We don't need to go no further. We see clearly from Islamic sources that men could give away their children in marriage. So I don't know why this guy is going to read something that says that the girls have to give consent. That's a lie. The man give away his daughter and the girls don't have to consent to nothing. The girls don't have to consent to nothing at all because a man is giving away his daughter in marriage. And I think at my brother Sam Shamon page, I have seen something, you know, he gave the resources. I look at them. Let me show you what brother Sam have up here, just to read to some of his stuff that he have. The guy is a stream of knowledge by God Almighty. So let's show what he have. So what he have here, classical interpretation of Surah 65 verse 4, Sahih al-Bukhari, and this is straight from Sahih al-Bukhari. You could tell that. Mujahid said, if you have any doubt, if you do not know whether the menstruation or not, the either for a woman who do not longer menstruate and those who have not yet menstruated in 3 months. So for him, if he read this, he would talk, oh, we're talking about amenorrhea. But no, that's not what this is talking about. Let's see. Sahih al-Bukhari, Tafsir English translation by Aisha Bewley. A man giving his young children in marriage. So a man giving his young children in marriage. By the word of Allah, that also applies to those who have not yet menstruated. Yes, those who have not yet menstruated. And he has made the Ida for the girls before puberty 3 months. Do you see that right there? And they quote Aisha in Bukhari, quoting Aisha, that Muhammad married to her when she was 6 years old and have sex with her when she was 9 years old. Fatal Bari, the authority. So you see what he says? And those who haven't menstruated yet, he made the waiting period either 3 months. For those who haven't menstruated yet, which indicate that giving her into marriage before puberty is permissible. Do you see that? Just look at it. Ain't nobody lying. Nobody lying at all. No one lying. So my people, I want to say peace out, man, and God bless you all, man. Thank you guys for coming out and listening to me. And let me read some comments, and then we'll get out of here and run away. You know, Peter Apologetics, I will look at your channel today. I will. I think you have a channel, and I should look at your channel. I don't remember if I subscribe to your channel at all. I need to, you know, we need to support each other. And Phil, I need to look at your website, and I will. I don't know if you have a channel, but I will look at your website. And God bless you all, man. And thank you so much. You guys have been great, man. And Bren, waiting period only applies to Muslim, but what about the victim of jihad? Wow. I think they have some form of waiting period too, I think, if I remember correctly. I think so. They have some form of waiting period, you know, but I don't think it's a long, I don't know how it goes. No excuse for pedophilia. Yeah, so Phil, I'm gonna check out your website because you know, you seems knowledgeable and quick. So let me check out. I'm gonna check out your website tonight at work. I gotta get some sleep when I finish here. A shower and get some sleep. But I will check out your website tonight at work. I'm sure I will. This is your website. Okay. Let me copy it and see what I can do. Oh, I'm gonna copy it here. So this is your website. Okay. Yeah, I put it there. I could find it from there easily. I'll check it out, and I might use it. You know, you're knowledgeable, so I'll use your website. You know, you get to things real fast and you know what you're talking about. So that's good to have brothers like you and Sam Shamon around. You know, God bless you, brother. And so let's see. Hard to believe that Mo crunchy your trip. Hard to believe that Mo babysat like look like the Peter and his pick our children. Look like, and you know that Aisha was not the only child that Muhammad wanted to molest. There was another child that Muhammad actually says, I bet Phil find that. I'm gonna show you. Look how quick Phil Muhammad said, when you reach to the age, if I'm still around, there's something, if I'm still alive, I'm gonna marry you. Something like that. He said to this little baby, a baby, like a little beanie baby. Can you imagine that? I look at a baby. I'm 48 years old. I look like older because of all this gray beard and stuff like that, because I have gray beard since I was very, very young. But I'm 48 years old. And if I look at a girl, a little baby girl, can you imagine? When people show me their kids, like, you know, people always, Earl, this is my daughter. John, this is my daughter. James, this is my daughter. Somebody say, hey, this is my daughter. You know, and what you do? You know, when they say, hey, this is my daughter, what do? You go to the daughter and you say, hey, nice little girl. And you'll be like, you know, look at her eyes. Look at her. Oh, she's so chubby. That's what you always say. And you're like, oh man, she looks so sweet and innocent. Because you're that baby. Can you imagine? You said to the mother, if you were if I'm around when she grow up, I marry her. That woman would look that woman would look at you and like, what the hell is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Thank you, my brother Isaac Elijah. Thank you so much. You know, but Muhammad go to the little baby and said to the baby, look, I'm telling you, he have it right here, watch. He have it there. Look now. I told you this guy, man. I recorded that the apostle saw Umm al-Fad when she was a baby crawling. Look, the baby was crawling, man, before a man said, if she grow up and I am still alive, I will marry her. What a beautiful prophet. This is a non-prophet, man. Look, can you imagine? Muhammad saw Abida, the daughter of Abba. So it's two child he said it to. Because this one was, yeah, two different child. Two different child. He says, I saw Abada, the daughter of Abbas, while she was Fatim, age of nursing. Wow. So this is even worse. This one, she was crawling around, which still she's nursing, but this one looked like it's worse. She might be a little tot. A little tot. And look what he says. If she grow up while I am alive and still alive, I will marry her. Oh man, Muhammad was the epitome of a pedophile. Epitome of a pedophile, man. Full-blown pedophile. You could not cure him. He gone. He was a full-blown pedophile. And because who look at a baby and think about marriage? Now, who look at a little girl and think about marriage? And who look at nobody? Don't. You don't even look at a 14-year-old and think about marriage. Muhammad was looking at The G the OG of pedophilia. Muhammad was the OG of pedophilia, man. Now, who look at a baby and think about sex or marriage? Because if you think about marriage, what do you think? When you think about, you see a baby, are you thinking about marriage? What's going on in your mind? What attract you to the baby? That you oh man. Oh boy. What a beautiful, beautiful prophet. Such a non-prophet. Yeah. Man. Once in a lifetime, man. You don't sell people like Muhammad at Amazon. Amazon don't sell prophets like Muhammad. Once in a lifetime. False prophet like Muhammad can never be bought at Amazon. You have to, man. He's once in a lifetime. If you were supposed to, if Muhammad was a car, and you were supposed to buy Muhammad, man, you could buy him. If an old-fashioned car from back in the days, you he's a once in a lifetime pedophile. You could not buy that clown, man. I'm telling you. They don't sell that clown so easy. What he says, he wasn't thinking about marriage. Niqab is sexual intercourse. Is that what he actually said? Niqab? Nikah? 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 Is that what Nikah? Nikah? Yeah, not niqab. Nikah. Oh, wow. I think I heard Christian Prince say that's what it means. Can you imagine that? Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful. And got out. Man, Muhammad was beautiful. Oh, so you okay, Nick? Alrighty, man. Your website got everything, brother. I gotta check it out. I gotta check out your website. So you see what happened, my friends. The only thing that is proven here is that Islam have is the Arabic F word. Wow. That the only thing we could give to the Muslim guy is that he proved that either Islam have two mouths or he doesn't understand his religion. That's the only thing you can give to him. You know, the only thing you can give to him at all. He doesn't understand his religion. And to say that he debunked them on the basis of pedophilia, that he debunked that Islam do not believe in pedophilia, it's a total lie. Where have he done that? Where have we done that? And if you look at here, there is nothing wrong. Watch this. But if we assume that a man regards the suitor as compatible and he, the father, is old, and there is the fear that if the passes away, guardianship of the girl passes to the brother, they may take the matter of marriage seriously and they may arrange her marriage. Do you see this deception? So according to him, what he's reading from this website, it is saying that if the father fear that he will pass away before the girl reach maturity, then he will arrange the marriage. Come on, man. According to their whims and desire, not according to what is in her best interest. And that's how marriage were. They used to marry their daughter according to their desire. A matter of fact, I read somewhere last night that they were marrying their daughters from the days of pre-Islam, and Muhammad did not change it. He didn't change it. He didn't change it. Did not change it at all. There is so much from Sam Shamoun that if you study, if you get into it deeply, you would be difficult for any Muslim to stand up against you if you go in deep into what Sam Shamoun is revealing about Islam. It's ridiculous. You know, the sources, you know, that he have there is so much. But let's so he was all over the place. He went to another site here. His child marriage allowed in the Quran, you know, and and he would, you know, he was just all over the place, undermining Ibn Abbas, Ibn Kathir, and all these people, undermining. And what do you call a child? Anyway, my people, I want to say peace out. God bless you. And all I can say to you, man, is stay far away from Islam. Islam is the religion of nonsense, and you just got to stay away from it. And I want to say all praises to the triune God, the God who is above all gods, the God who gives us wisdom to decipher things and to make sense of sensible things and to make nonsense of things that are nonsense. And as far as I am concerned, Islam is nothing but pure nonsense. And my advice to you, as always, when you go out there, keep it 100% Jesus. Whatever you do in your life, make sure that you keep it Jesus. Whether you live or die, remember to keep it Jesus. Because if you die, you will be safe. And when I say keep it Jesus, I mean to live according to Jesus's law and regulation, and to keep in your mind that Jesus died for your sins, and that Jesus is your Lord and Savior, and you will be safe. You will be safe. So God bless you, and keep safe out there. Until I see you tomorrow, if it is God's will, I'll see you tomorrow. So peace out, my brothers and sisters, and 100% love.